Welcome to Two Guys Garage. Now we're going a little bit different today. We're going handheld. We've got extra people we brought in, so we're not really two guys, more like 20 guys.
Yeah, this is gonna be a very unique build. We're not gonna do a couple projects. We're gonna build a whole car. And what's cool is we're gonna show you how to do it. We're gonna start with a frame. We're gonna build up the brakes, suspension. It's gonna be a good one, so you guys wanna stick around.
Now we brought in the crew from Factory 5, and what we have is a Factory 5 33 Ford hot rod. Now myself, I've got a 33 Ford hot rod. You know, I've got to build my own frame, I've got to construct my own shop top, I've got to do all the work, I've got to buy all the equipment. What's cool about Factory 5, Dave Smith, the owner of Factory 5, one of the great things about it is it takes away the pain. And you get rid of the pain, and you have the fun part, which is picking what color you want your frame, picking what color you want the body, what wheels do you want, and then you get an assembly manual. What a great idea.
Well, you don't have one for your car?
No.
The nice thing is Dave and his crew, they put together, you know, the whole kit. So you get everything, minus the powertrain, which you get to spec and pick out yourself, and it's all there, you know, along with the assembly manual, you know where it all goes, and what's great is you get that ownership. You get to build your own car. You don't just pick it off a lot and choose a color. So when you drive it, you hang out with your buddies that also build their cars. I mean, you got that pride of ownership, which is great.
Well, you guys came out last fall. You toured the plant, and we went on a cruise. So I figured, you know, let's throw down the gauntlet. A lot of guys go out and they drive these cars and they see them on the road, but they don't get a chance to build them up close. So we brought our guys, Bryan, Andy. You know, our guys from the shop are going to help build, and at the end of this week, we'll drive and race it. So
yeah, now Bryan and I are both builders, so we're excited about the build. We're both drivers, so we're excited about the drive. And speaking of build, we're going to build the motor up while we're building the car up. So I'm going to go check on it next door. You guys can follow me. It's going to be a cool parallel path. We'll see it come together. And we'll get to drive the thing when it's done.
It's going to be fun.
Now, we said we were going to bring in some friends and sucker them into helping us build. We weren't lying. This is Bud Keating from Dart Engines. Glad you guys could make it.
thank you, thanks. It's nice to be out of the snow.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what these guys at Dart do, I mean, we're all familiar. They make cylinder blocks, cylinder heads, and a lot of these hardcore components. They've taken it another step.
We put together a real nice pre-engineered package. We set all the tolerances. We made it easy for somebody to buy our short block that can go with a matched top-end kit, and it can end up in their garage and be installed in their car within a matter of hours.
Because, you know, I've been around engines for a long time. This one's gonna come up.
Yeah.
And there's just so much detail involved with getting all the fitment, all the precision, and just matching parts. You know, getting your piston to deck, getting your valve clearances, getting your push rod lengths, all that stuff. But when you buy the short block, you know it's built right. And when you buy the top end kit, you know it's all matched. So it's gonna be fun kind of doing this build because I can almost turn my brain off and I can do just a couple of key things with building the rest of the motor. And like you said, in a couple of hours, I can have it built.
Well, we got some really nice parts here. We work with industry professionals that really support what we're doing here for the home enthusiast.
We'll get this thing up on the engine stand. Cool. We'll start the build. We'll show you a few tips and tricks while we're doing it.
Literally in real time, while Byrd has been over playing with the Dart engine, we've got the front suspension already loosely put together. I'm here with Andy from Factory 5. He's in their tech support department, and he's showing me how this thing goes together. When they send you the front end, they send you all these pieces. They're going to be raw steel. They're going to be unassembled. That way, you can get them powder coated for whatever color you want. You get it back from the powder coater, plater, whatever you decide to use, then you can get it to this point.
Right. And probably the best thing about the suspension is we were able to design it 100% on our own. So it handles exactly like we want it to, like sports car. So one of the other things about the spindle is it uses Mustang's hub and brakes. So if you need replacement parts, you can get them at the store
go down
right
to
around
your
the corner.
local store.
Yeah, so
And
it's a lot more convenient than a custom part.
Absolutely. And also with the hub, you know, you've got a factory hub. You know you got a good high quality component. And we've already pre-assembled the steering arm. Went ahead and put that on. We're putting the spindle on at this point. One of the really cool things about this, it's got the inboard coilovers. Now this keeps the suspension built inside of the grille, keeps the outside looking clean, not like the old buggy front suspension, which, you know, it's its own thing. It looks cool too, but it will not perform anywhere near like an inboard high-end suspension like this will. Now we're gonna go ahead and get the rack put in. We're gonna loosely put the whole suspension in, torque it to spec per the manual, And then at that point, we'll be ready to move on to another part of the car. We're out of time right now. Got to take a break. We'll be back.
This segment of Two Guys Garage is brought to you by iBrakeParts.com. For all of your braking needs, look to iBrakeParts.com, your online stopping destination.
Hey, welcome back. You can see we've got the short block up on the stand. This is a good point to kind of stop and show you where we're starting from. And you can see it's got a lot of the precision parts already installed.
We've done a lot with these blocks, and technology today really helps us out. You know, this block, it's been designed to have longer cylinder bores. It's rod notched. You know, when it comes to you, we have all the freeze plugs in it, the oil plugs, the deck dowels, all those little things that the guys run around all day Saturday to find.
Yeah, and even I see the cam bearings are already installed. You don't need a special install tool. And you know, the reason for these longer bores is you've increased the bore diameter and you've increased the stroke, because we got an 8.2 deck height block, which is a 302 Ford. Well, that 302 Ford is now a 369 cubic inch.
That's a big motor.
It's a 155 bore and a 400 stroke.
Yeah, that's a lot of cubic inches to fit in an old 302. Now, if you think about it, when your stroke is only so much with a piston, your cylinder only has to be so long. But now you're going to take that stroke down. You better bring that cylinder bore down so your piston doesn't fall out the bottom.
Keep that piston in the hole and keep that bore stable. Blocks from Dart come with Siamese bores. Now, it's obvious that these little humps here, we have expanded water jackets so we don't sacrifice any cooling, but the Siamese bores takes the water from between the cylinder bores so that we can put that big 155 piston in this to make that 469 cubic inch.
Yeah, and you've even got some of your machining done already for your OEM spider.
Yep. Factory OEM spider and rollers fit right in, so it makes it real easy. You know, the goal is to make it easy for the guy that's in his garage looking to put this together.
Rick is putting in the gas tank.
We are.
What is that, 18 gauge steel, it looks like?
It is. Yep.
And
15 gallon tank. Yep.
Yep, 15-gallon tank. You've got your sending unit and also your pump. There's 2 spots here for that.
Yep.
Now this is your filler. Where does
That's
that
the
go?
filler. It's you lift the trunk up. It's a hidden fuel filler, so you get nice smooth body lines.
Okay.
No external.
Now what about the hinges? You're just kind of mocking those up?
Lining up the tank between the hinges so we get nice, you know, smooth movement.
Right.
On the hinges, we'll mark these tabs over here in the front, and
Okay.
we'll drill some holes to bolt the tank down.
Okay, so you drill those. Now what about the roll cage?
Roll bar. There's a removable roll bar, so it's up to you whether you like the roll bar or not. It's a quick pin, so you can pull the pins.
Okay.
Pop the roll bar out.
And I'm assuming you just get all this kind of loosely mocked up. Don't tighten it. Put your hood on, put your deck lid on.
Correct.
Get it fit, then you'll snug them.
Yep.
And if you're small enough, you can crawl in the back and tighten them in, right?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Now, if you move to the rear suspension,
Yeah.
you've got dual trailing arms here.
We do.
And you've also got an anti-left to right moving of
Yeah.
panhard. I'm not
Yep.
sure what you call it in this
It's a
setup.
3-link rear suspension.
Okay.
So there's also a 3rd link that's going to hook from here to here.
Uh-huh.
Nice smooth movement up and down.
Yep.
No binding like a 4-link would have.
Yep. And you've got a top link holding it from going front to rear.
Yep. Yep.
And you guys developed this on other cars for a
On
while,
Challenge
right?
Series race cars, that's where it originally was, and most of our customers found out that the race car guys had better stuff than the street car guys.
Right.
And now it's on the street cars.
Nice. That's what we like.
Works out pretty well.
This tip is brought to you by AutoGeek.net. We are car care.
All right, I'm here with Mike Phillips, auto detailing expert, and when you're picking a buffer, it's tough. I mean, there are all kinds of decisions, all kinds of models, all kinds of brands, so hopefully you're going to help us narrow it down to a choice for us.
Okay, well, on this side we got some traditional rotary buffers. Now these are direct drive tools. They're really good if you got serious paint defects to remove, or say in a body shop where after they sand the car down, then they want to remove their sanding marks. On this side we have what's called a dual action polisher, and these have become very popular because they're so easy to use, and you can't burn the paint and you can't put swirls in with them.
Yeah, and with the foam, you're not going to get anywhere near as hard a cut,
Oh,
nowhere
exactly.
near as much damage potential.
And they've become very popular because modern clear coats are actually pretty hard, and so when you and me go out into the garage, when we're working by hand, it's hard to get the swirls out. So that's why these tools have become so
Oh, it's way
popular.
hard. No thanks, not interested. Now show me how this, why doesn't it? you know.
Okay, well the dual action polisher has what's called a free rotating spindle assembly. And we have this one here torn apart so you can take a look at it. As this speeds up, this counterweight helps the pad to rotate, but as soon as you put too much weight on this, what's going to happen is it'll stop. Now I'll show you with this demonstration. Now it's rotating. If I push too hard, it just stops. And it more or less just vibrates against the paint, and that keeps you from burning the paint or putting swirls in.
Now what is this? I haven't seen one like that before.
Now what that is called is a cyclo polisher. Again, it's very safe, it's easy to use. It uses dual heads that counter rotate, and again with foam pads, you just can't hardly make a mistake with it.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, that's about it, right?
Well, there's one other thing.
Except for the massage?
Yeah, not only are they dual action polishers, they're dual purpose. For more information on this, and for more detailing tips and techniques, check out autogeek.net and click on Show Car Garage.
Brian's tightening up the rack and pinion. Now this is a special unisteer rack, and it's unusual because it is power. This is an option for the Factory 5 car, but it's power by an electric assist. And if you see this motor that I've put in, it's electronically assisted, so as you steer it, it actually helps push it in either direction. When it senses your right motion, it helps you push right, senses left. There'll be a couple of steering U-joints that go in, and then when it comes up to the column, this is Dan, by the way.
How's
Say
it going,
hi.
Brian? So what we got here is an identical column. They custom make this column for us, weld on all the brackets. This one happens to be an optional 8-way adjustable version. It does come in a straight version, so you can go ahead, hook up your electrical connector. You'll put in your tilt column stock, you'll put in your turn signal stock, and then go ahead, put your wheel on, and you're good to go.
Rough, isn't it?
It is.
All right, I'm gonna let you button that up. Now, it also has plenty of different columns, no matter what your application is. You can get different links, you can get different like steel or chrome or aluminum. They have all different types. They're made in America, and no matter what car you have, more than likely, it has something cool to fit in your car. So right now, let's check out Byrd.
As you can see, we got our short block pretty much done and dressed out. We got our champ pan on, our oil pump, starting to get our front end, our timing chain, our damper. Now, we can go ahead and start putting our top end together. Now, we got this really cool rack system from Rack Up. You know, it's got the engine stand, it rolls right underneath. Everything's nice and organized, out of the way. Now we can go ahead and start putting our cylinder heads and valve train together. So we're going to line up our dowel holes right here. Not scratch the deck face. Drop that guy right on. We can start running our bolts in, start setting up our valve train, our push rods. Now Dart's been around forever. They've been doing, you know, hardcore block and head machining. You know, they build all their own parts and machine it in-house. And, you know, they've got expertise that's gone back for a long time.
The racing products that we build is really what we're known for. The owner, Richard Maskin, he's a racer. He's a racer and a mechanic, which is really our roots. These products help us do this. You know, when we can put the time and effort into the development, it helps us bring to the market a much better product for the consumer.
See, that's just the easy part for you guys,
It
because
is.
you've already done all the hard work. Now this is, I thought, was a really awesome piece. This is your billet aluminum cylinder block, which probably most of you guys have never seen one before, but that's a lot of material to start hogging away with a machine.
It is, but what it does is we've always had a lot of people ask us to do oddball kind of configurations, and this gives people the opportunity to dream. They can have different combinations. You know, we're wrapping a block around parts is what we're doing.
Yeah, and it's really cool, the process. I mean, this is one big block of aluminum. Now, anybody that's machined anything, you start removing a lot of material, and it starts to move a little bit on you. You know, there's a lot of internal stresses in the material, and you take that material away, things will move on you. So what they end up doing is, well, one, they've got to get a water jacket on both sides of this, you know, bank of cylinders. So they go in and they machine in for the water jacket, then they come in here with this cover plate, weld it up. They leave a little bit of skim material, send it to heat treat, get the strength and durability they need. Then they can come back and cut all the deck faces and the bore, get everything nice and straight. Really cool process. I've seen it over at their shop.
You know, at the end of the day, when you build a motor, the efficiency of the motor is all built around the stability of the bores. And what you got here is a very strong but lightweight block for the racer.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. And you guys have done everything from bottom ends, and cylinder heads is really where you guys are at, or have been for a long time.
Cylinder heads is, I mean, that's our roots. The 23-degree small block iron head, it's something we sell 30,000 a year of. It's a great market for us, and it's a performance-based product, but it also fits very well into the hot rodder all the way up to the drag racer, because there's 5 versions of it.
Yeah, it's a very economical way to get performance. And for a lot of those series that spec out an iron head,
correct,
great way to go out there and race and follow the rules.
Then we go to our 12.5 degree. This is a nice little cylinder head. Again, it's an inline cylinder head, but it's a rolled over 12.5 degree port. It's a raised port, shallow chamber for the 15-to-1 guy. Wonderful exhaust ports, and again, unlike the iron head, this is aluminum, so it weighs 12 to 14 pounds less.
Yeah, you guys got a great selection. You know, with the way you're doing your, bottom ends and top end kits, you can put together the combination that you want as the street guy. Yep. And if you want to go hardcore racing, obviously these guys have everything you need. So we're going to cut the break, stick around, we come back, we're going to show you some tips and tricks, how to set your valve train up, and some of the rest of this build. All right, as you can see, we got our heads bolted on, everything's torqued up nice. All we're gonna do now, get our valve train all set up and set our lash. Now, Jeff's been building motors for a long time, and what's one of the big mistakes people make?
That's push rod length.
Yeah, push rod length, because it sets your valve train geometry. Now what I mean is, you've got a stem height on your valve, it's fixed, and I got a pivot point for my rocker arm, it's gonna rotate around. Well, the only thing that's gonna change this up and down center point is the length of that push rod. So if I change that push rod length, I can effectively change, my pivot point.
Where the roller rides on the stem.
Exactly. So it changes my sweep across the top of the valve. Well, you got a good trick.
What we're looking for is to be in the center of the valve throughout the whole sweep. So I took a Sharpie and rolled it through, and as you can see, there's a witness mark of where the roller is riding on the stem.
Yeah, so if you turn the motor over a couple times, yep, you'll see the good witness mark. Get everything nice and centered. Your valve train will last forever, and it's going to run like it should. Now, I'll just give you a little sneak peek. Here's our rocker cover here. This is what it's going to look like. We've got a few other things to dress out. So next time you see it, hopefully this thing is going to look like a real motor with a lot of cool stuff on it.
We're ready to put the firewall panels in. And these are, what, 1/8 inch?
1/8 inch, 6061 aluminum.
Okay. First thing we did was laid out our tube pattern so we could come back in and get our holes in the center. Now after that, we flip it over, we come back, and we've got a good location point to make sure what we'll do at the end is actually drill these and rivet them.
Yeah. You see these have a nice tight fit. Everything's all laser cut ahead of time. The customer doesn't have to do any of this. We also use this firewall to mount the body along the cowl and steering bearing location. So it's one of the reasons it's 1/8 inch.
Now once we pull this off, we're gonna have to do some kind of protectant on it. And I've got Clint here with shark hide. And the first thing we did, we took DA to him with 80 grit, just kind of gave it a little bit of a finish, cleaned them with lacquer thinner, and then tell us about shark hide.
Well, shark hide is a water white clear protective coating that it can be used on any type of metal, raw steel, copper, brass, bronze, but in this case aluminum. Aluminum will discolor, tarnish, oxidize over time. Put a couple of good coats of shark hide on this, and on a vehicle like this, you're probably going to see 1 or 2 coats last the lifetime of the vehicle. It completely seals out the aluminum from the elements.
Now it's super easy to apply. Show me how that works.
One of the most important steps is to saturate the cloth. Make sure the cloth...
The diaper.
White cotton baby diaper. That's about all we recommend.
Saturate the diaper.
Then what we do is we just use simple straight horizontal swipes right across the surface of the metal. Now there's a slight drag on this because of the texture of the metal. Now that right there constitutes 1 coat.
Okay.
Now it's going to flow out for the next few seconds, and it's going to be dry to the touch within just a couple of minutes, and you'll be able to take this back.
Wow.
Mount it on the firewall.
Cool. And that'll protect it from oxidation.
Absolutely. When you use it on things like your brake calipers, polished wheels, things like that, they're going to see a lot harsher environment than this firewall will. They're going to see road salt and things like that.
Sure.
You're still looking at a year or more per application of protection. What we've done with shark hide is we've put together a blend of proprietary resins, and we've not added the different hardeners and accelerators. So by doing that, it'll forever stay pliable. It actually draws into the pores of the metal, and once the solvents in shark hide flash and go away, it's left with that blend of resins.
Perfect. Well, now I think once these are ready, which obviously isn't very long, we'll be ready to put these babies in and move on to the next step.
Sure, great.
For more information about anything you've seen on today's show, check out speedtv.com or visit TwoGuysGarage.com.
We got a lot of work done so far on this 33 hot rod. Time to take a break, ease it up, show you some cool products, and clean up a little bit.
Yeah, these are from Stoco, and they're the Cresto hand cleaner and hand lotion.
Ooh,
if you look,
nice.
see how clean my hands are now after a full day of working on that Factory 5 car. And these have walnut shells in them, so they're natural. They clean your skin well. It's not like using an acetone or lacquer thinner or something like that around the shop. It's going to really crack you out. Get a good quality hand cleaner.
You don't want to be cracked out.
That's right.
Yeah, so these natural scrubbers, they get in there under the fingernails and clean up. And on top of that, a little hand lotion at the end, a little rejuvenator. Man, you're feeling, like that day's work just kind of blew behind you. Stoco cleaners and moisturizers.
All right, next up, from You Coat It.
Yeah.
Now, any of us have had a dirty, nasty floor, and you've got to take care of that. Just like your hands, you want to take care of your floor. And the good thing about You Coat it's a good, high-quality product, so it's going to be resistant to all those chemicals you have around the shop. It's very easy to do, so it comes with a DVD, like a how-to, so
You've got 7 different colors to choose from. You got top coating options. If you've ever lived with a shop without a coating on it versus with a coating, you'll never go back. You coat it, get yourself a nice, clean, chemical-resistant coating. You'll be happy.
Now, next thing we got up is from Satisfied Brakes, and this is their Pro Ceramic VS series.
Yeah, no, this is vehicle specific. They actually engineered to the specifications for your vehicle, so it's definitely not a one-size-fits-all. Now, what's good about these, they're all slotted, chamfered. They've got stainless steel backing plates. They've got all the instructions on how to bed them, how to install them, basically how to break them in. It's a great upgrade for your brakes, so if you're going to do a brake job, go ahead and get the ceramic, vehicle-specific upgrades from Satisfied Brakes.
All right, we're out of time. Thanks for watching. Now, next time on our Factory 5 build, we're going to put probably the engine, the transmission in, maybe the body. So keep watching.
See you guys.